Yeah, hi there. These comments are for AJ, and this is Michael from BetterTOEFLScores.com. I'm listening to an independent, or it might be integrated speaking practice test that you sent me a couple of days ago. So let's get right down to it. Let's listen to your response right now. Yeah, I think it's integrated. So let me go to the next set of rubrics here.
To begin with, the professor in the listening talks about two developments that allowed ancient Roman cities to expand. She says that ancient Romans had advanced technology by which they could easily expand their cities. At first, the professor says that ancient Romans had advanced concrete material by which they could easily build or create larger bridges. Um, for this reason, they could easily export equipments, materials using cars from one city to another. And that is why they could easily build larger cities. Moreover, the professor says that ancient Romans made fresh water available for cities by creating aqueducts, and for this reason they could easily make open channels which could stretch from mountains to cities, and this allowed them to get steady flow of water, and this is how they could easily make a large city, and that is how the professor explained the topic.
Okay. All right. So looking at the rubrics, I think you had a few problems with your delivery. I think that's the main thing. It looks like your organization is pretty good. I might uncover some problems with language use on the second time I listen to it. So let's listen one more
To
time.
begin with, the professor in the listening talks about two developments that allowed ancient
It's they talk about to development. So be careful of your word stress, especially on the words that have three or more syllables. So you didn't really get the primary stress, but once you get the primary stress, you need to make that stress syllable clearer, louder, longer, and higher pitched.
Roman cities to expand.
You want to say ancient Roman cities to expand. So again, with that one, you have to put more stress on the first syllable.
She says that ancient Romans had advanced technology by which they could easily expand their city
They have, I think you're trying to say advanced
to
technology.
expand. She says that ancient Romans had advanced technology
Sounds almost like you're saying adverse technology, and that's not what you're trying
by
to
which
say
they
there. So I don't think that's the right word. So advanced, you have to be careful. Advanced ends in ed, advanced. So because the ed or the ed comes after a voiceless consonant, it sounds like a T
could easily
sound.
expand their cities. At first, the professor says that ancient Romans had advanced
Now what's the transition word
by
there?
which they could easily expand their cities. At first, the professor says
Yeah, I'm not sure what you're saying. You might say in addition, the professor expands on the idea by giving an extended example or something.
that ancient Romans had advanced concrete material by which
You say concrete material. You're having trouble with both of those words, pronouncing them clearly.
they could easily build or create larger bridges. Um, for this reason,
You might say therefore, or as a result, or consequently if you want. Just don't overuse that for this reason. It does show cause
they could
effect.
easily export equipments, materials using cars from one city to another.
You want to
And that
say
is
from one city to another, you want to say.
why they could easily build larger cities. Moreover, the professor says that ancient Romans made fresh water available for cities by creating aqueducts.
I wouldn't say make fresh water. They transport or they carry the fresh water from one place to another using a complex system of aqueducts.
And for this reason, they could easily
Instead of for this reason, you can say therefore if you want.
make open channels which could stretch from mountains to cities,
Okay.
and this allowed them to get steady flow of water, and this is how they could easily make a large city, and
Okay.
that is how the professor explained the topic.
All right.
To
So I think overall you have You had some problems, some minor problems with language use, I think sometimes, but it's just sometimes you're not clearly pronouncing the word right. I confuse it with another word, so that's probably more of a delivery problem than it is a language use problem. So I'm going to put your score at 2.5 out of 4, 19 to maybe 20 points out of 30. I'm going to say is the score of this practice test. So you have to improve your intelligibility. This is urgent. If there is ever an emergency, it is right now. Unfortunately, improving intelligibility takes time. So it's a combination of studying lessons on my online course. For example, right now you should be studying lessons involving intonation and thought groups and blending. I think is a good start. You can also study the lessons about syllable division and grammatical word endings. Even more, you can take a look at my lessons on word stress. So you have to go through those lessons. I just named about 16 of them. And you have to go through those accent reduction videos and practice that and get more comfortable with those sound, spelling patterns, and all of those things. At the same time, increase your exposure to English. That involves a lot of speaking, a lot of listening to the language, and really get as much exposure to the language as you can, and that also helps you to develop a more natural sounding speech. So those are some things you can do right now over time that will have a very big impact on improving your speaking and intelligibility of American English. And thank you for completing this practice test.